Hi everyone. Today we are going to look at integers. So in the previous case, we already have seen, like in the print statement, we saw things like print, say hello times 3, right? So we have this 3. So these integers like whatever we use in mathematics. So that's what we are going to have a look at. And for today's video and the discussion, I'm going to use the IPython interpreter. So you could use ideally, or even whatever, or you can write all this stuff in an editor, but rather than doing so, we'll have to keep on doing print, so this is much more easier if you have an IDLE. So this is IPython, so you could use whatever interpreter you're comfortable or you like to use. And so let's do it. Yeah. So we have seen, so we have numbers, right? Integers 2, 3, or I can say 4, I have numbers 2, 3. So all these numbers that we use and use, so these are the integers. Of course you can also have negative integers like -1, and you can have negative integers as well. So immediately the thing that that comes to our mind is like arithmetic operations, right? Addition, for example, I can say 2 plus 3, or I can do, if you want to go fancy like that, we can also do that. So we can add things. Of course we can again subtract things, right? And we don't have to limit to like 2 integers, right? So we can do 2 plus 3 plus 4, like that, you can go on. Or we can combine 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2, or like you can keep on going that way. So we can combine the operations. So, and of course we can do multiplication. Yeah, so we can do it. And so one of the things I want to point out is that this doesn't matter. So you have an operator, right? So this is an operation that we're performing. This is star operator here. So I don't have to, this is okay, the space, you can do it this way, or you can do, that's okay, this is fine. I usually use one space to separate, and it's all about the readability of your code. So we can do multiplication, and now of course it's interesting, right? I can do 2 times 5, right? Now here comes the question, right? So we have a confusion, like is this 2 plus 3 times 5, or 3 times 5 plus 2? So in that case, so we have this plus here and a multiplication here, right? So what we can see here, this is first performed and then this, right? So 15 plus 2 is 17. It is not 5 times 5. So there's an order. So when we keep on like that, so order, so the which is preferred in the order of precedence of operators. So here first it has higher priority, the 3 times 5. That is, when you keep in a single line, 3 times 5 is first, because the star operator comes first, and then you do plus. So in case, so we can use parentheses to override that. So this is what is happening now, right? And in case that is not what you want, if you actually meant this, you can do that. So order of precedence. So if we don't want to remember which will be done first, which operator comes first, so we can always use parentheses and override it. So it's best to use, that's what I usually do. But unless it is very complicated expression and we keep on doing many parentheses, so we can use a parenthesis. So now of course it doesn't have to be like simply like that. We can have multiple 5 plus 3 times 9 plus 2, like in a so we have a much more long expression here. So 3 times 5, again this is we can see that this is done and this is done, and then 2 and 2 is added. So basically this is 2 plus 15 plus 2, right? Yes. So again this is the way this is proceeding, because the star and this, right? So if you want something different, if you are intended something completely different, like as I said, if you have thought something like this, or if you wanted something like this and that, like, and so it has a completely different result. So you can always force what you actually intended to do. So that's and now, so we have this 2, right? 2, we have integers, and we may also come with, you know, like 1.5, right? So we have what you called float, right? This is float, as was integers. So we have floating point numbers, so which again we can use same calculation, 1.5 plus 1.5, or again 3.5. You want to subtract 1.5, and we can also do 1.5 times 2. So and so we can see that the result is here and here, floating point numbers. So it is so since we have one entity which is already a float object, so we have floating number, so the result is also floating point number. And so here of course, as we can also, you know, combine 2 plus 3.5 minus 2 times 3.5, you know, we have a complex expression. And again, whatever you want to do, you can we can use the parentheses and get and express what we want for our equation, or the math that we want to perform. So now immediately comes to mind, what is the next operator? Yes, division. So I can do, of course, 6 by 2, so 3. So this is an interesting thing. So no matter, even though 6 by 2 is 3, which can be an integer, the way the output result is a float number, that is the way it is implemented. It is giving us a float output. It is good to remember that. So now again we can do 3.3 divided by 1, you know, things like, or if you want to combine 2 plus 3 times 2 minus 5, right? Start 2.2 divided by 6, you know, whatever you want to do. And again things like the order of precedence, and if suppose you have a +2 here, and if you exactly wanted, this is now happening something like here, this is what is happening here, right? So because it does this guy and it does this all sequence of operation, and then we finally perform the addition. So if, in other words, if you, what exactly you intend was something like you wanted this, you wanted that to be there, so you can always say, okay, first add 6 plus 2 and then do the rest. So in that case, what is performed is we are doing this. Yeah. So the order of precedence, so which comes after which, right? So here the higher priority goes to this. It's multiplication and division as equal priority, so they go from left to right. So in any event, in your calculations, what exactly you plan to implement, and so you use parentheses to force that. Or if you can remember that here the high priority goes to the multiplication and division, so this first is expressed from left to right, and this is also computed. After that, this summation happens, and this addition and this subtraction happens. So they all go from left to right otherwise. So now, of course, we have seen division, multiplication, and so of course what we have left is this, right? So we can do that by saying power, right? We can do the power calculations. So so what we can do again, again combine, there may be expressions like, you know, right? So this is what exactly is happening here. So we are doing first this, so the power operation as the higher priority, so that is happened first. Then we have, after that, you get 3 times 3 to the power of 2 is 9, so you get that. So then 9, then what happens is this happens, so finally get 20. So these so we see that no matter what, this is done first. So as an example of that, for example, say we have a formula for compound interest, say, which is equal to P1, right, plus the interest rate by 100 to the power of number of years, right, minus 1, right? Suppose this is the equation that we are going to implement. So how do we do that? So we have, say, P, say pi is 1000, or yes, 2000, say 2000 times, right? We are using, no matter what, the regular parentheses. So we have one parenthesis, and we have one more parenthesis. Then we have 1 plus, say, 5% interest, 5 by 100, right? Star, says for 5 years, minus 1, right? This is the way done. So this is done. Yeah, so this is done. So that's the way it is done. So here, how do we just try to simplify it and see if we can, same expression, multiple steps. For example, what is done first? So we have what we do first is this one, right? 1 plus 5 by so 1.5 or 5 star 5, right? So that is what is first is happening, and so we don't need that, we don't need that, and then we have -1. So that is the way. So first you do this, first we have done this, and then because this is in the parentheses, first this has to be evaluated. So 5 by 100 is happening, and then we add 1.5, and then we do this part because this operator has high precedence. So then after that we do the -1, and finally we do this one. So so this way we can implement whichever equation that you are working on in Python, any complicated expressions in general. So now before we wind up this discussion, we have 2 more things I would like to point out, or we can check out. So there is floor, division, and modulus. So suppose if I say 6, 2, so basically this is the division. So how many so which basically what does it mean? So we here 6 divided by, basically give 6 divided by 2, how much is that, right? So this is 3. So 6, so basically means 2 times 3 is 6. That's it. So we get 3, and also we have we can also do we have also the modulus percentage operator. So we can say 6% 2, this is the remainder. So the remainder is here 0, right? And if it is a 5%, 2 gives us 1, because 2 times 2 is 4, and you get the remainder is 1. So these are the things we have plus, minus, star. Before that we have division, and we have percentage, and we have the division, floor division, and the modulus, the remainder. So these are the basic operation that we can perform on do basic arithmetic operators that be available in Python. They are very simple and straightforward to use. I believe it is easy to follow, and thank you for watching.